Before the video starts, please like, subscribe, and comment. Any interaction will help me greatly. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by January 2026. And also please watch until the very end, it's the least I ask for, thank you.
Miu Iruma, the ultimate inventor. A girl whose mouth runs faster than her machines ever could. She's brash, vulgar, and constantly pushing people's buttons, but beneath all that noise is someone far more complicated than she wants anyone to notice. Miu's brilliance is undeniable, yet she uses it like armor, building gadgets, personas, and crude jokes to keep people from seeing the truth. She's terrified of being small, overlooked, or hurt. Her genius isolates her as much as it empowers her, and her behavior often makes her the punchline rather than the person. Some call her manipulative, others think she's misunderstood, but either way, Miu Iruma walks a thin line between being the victim of her world and the villain of her own story. Now, first things first. Who is Miu Iruma? Before stepping into the killing game, Miu Iruma was just an ordinary high school girl. Or at least, that's how she saw herself. Boring, unremarkable, invisible, everything changed after a near-fatal car accident that left her in a coma. When she finally woke up, she claimed her mind was suddenly overflowing with ideas and blueprints. Things she'd never even imagined before. She began to believe the surgery had turned her into something beyond human, an augmented genius. From there, Miu threw herself into invention, creating all kinds of bizarre and groundbreaking gadgets, including her eye drop contacts, though she famously dismissed them as a failure. Her motto said it all. How can you live life when you're so relaxed it's like you're still asleep? To Miu, standing still meant being worthless. She wanted to be seen, to be remembered, even if she had to scream, insult, and shock people to make that happen. Now that we've covered Miu's background, or, at least, what little we actually know about it, we can start looking at what really defines her, her personality. Because if her past is vague, her behavior is anything but. However, her personality section on her wiki is very lengthy. I will simple it down. Miu Iruma isn't a character you can summarize in a single word. On the surface, she's a walking storm, loud, obscene, and brutally confident. She sees herself as a beautiful genius, constantly reminding everyone around her of her talent, while firing off crude jokes and nasty insults like it's a sport. She calls others virgins, gives them humiliating nicknames, and dominates every conversation with arrogance that borders on desperation. But when someone actually challenges her, or when her comments are ignored, that armor cracks fast. The overconfident facade drops, revealing someone timid, nervous, and easily flustered, a girl terrified of being disliked. Her arrogance isn't power, it's protection. And then there's her more complicated side, the one the game only hints at. Beneath the vulgarity and bravado, Miu is lonely. She's awkward about intimacy, overcompensates with sexual humor, and hides how inexperienced and scared she really is. Despite all her talk, she craves affection more than attention. Her strange inventions, her over-the-top personality, even her self-destructive tendencies, they all point to someone who doesn't know how to be loved without being extreme. Miu Iruma is insecure, isolated, and aching for validation, but she's built a persona so abrasive that no one ever gets close enough to see it. Of course, knowing who Miu is doesn't excuse what she's done. Because for all her insecurity and fear, Miu Iruma isn't exactly an innocent victim either. She's made her mark in the killing game, and not always for the right reasons. Let's take a look at the moments that made her so infamous among fans and characters alike.
Scene 1, K1, B0's maintenance. After Maki's true talent as the ultimate assassin was revealed, the group split off to explore new areas of the academy. While the others searched, Miu brought K1, B0 into her lab to perform maintenance on him, though it quickly turned into one of her more uncomfortable moments. She made several inappropriate and suggestive comments toward him, treating the situation more like a joke than actual work. Her behavior crossed boundaries and clearly embarrassed K1B0, though he reluctantly allowed it so she would finish the upgrades. While she did end up improving his functions, the scene showed the worst side of Miu's personality, her inability to recognize when her humor and arrogance become disrespectful, and how she hides behind vulgarity even when it hurts others.
Scene 2. Miu groping 𝙬𝙬. During their first free time event together, 𝙬𝙬 finally loses patience with Miu's non-stop rude remarks and sarcastically points out that Miu's chest isn't the only big one in the room. Miu immediately takes it too far, asking to touch 𝙬𝙬's chest to check, insisting it's fine because they're both girls. 𝙬𝙬, clearly uncomfortable, ends up smacking her in defense. The scene's played for comedy, but it shows one of Miu's worst habits, crossing personal boundaries and turning everything into a sexual joke, even when the other person is clearly not okay with it. It's moments like this that make her reputation so divisive, not just vulgar, but genuinely disrespectful.
Scene 3. The Love Suite Event. While the Love Suite events aren't canon to the main story, Miu stands out as one of the most talked about, and one of the most uncomfortable. In her event, Shuichi takes the role of her childhood friend, someone she claims has always cared for her and seen her true self. But as the conversation goes on, her tone shifts fast, from sentimental to obsessive. Miu tells Shuichi she wants to have his kids so he can't get rid of her, and when he hesitates, she turns frustrated and tries to pressure him into sleeping with her. The scene ends with it being implied that they do. It's a disturbing look at how Miu handles affection, confusing love with possession, and intimacy with control. What's meant to be romantic ends up feeling manipulative and sad, showing just how deep her insecurity and need for validation really go.
Scene 4. Miu's murder plan. By this point, Miu's paranoia and fear of betrayal had reached her breaking point. She was tired of being trapped, tired of feeling mocked, and convinced that the world couldn't go on without her inventions. So, she came up with a plan, one that would end with Kokichi's death. When she discovered the killing game simulator, she reprogrammed it to her advantage, making items unbreakable, adding walls only objects could pass through, and giving herself tools to control who could log out. She even made sure to leave one dangerous weapon behind, the hammer she planned to use for the murder. To make things worse, she gave Kokichi's avatar a unique setting that would freeze him if she touched him, ensuring he couldn't fight back. But Miu underestimated him. Kokichi saw through everything, using her own setup against her. When they met on the roof, Miu was ready to kill, but Kokichi had already turned the tables. Gondok, manipulated by Kokichi, killed her instead, strangling her with toilet paper. In the end, Miu died by the very system she tried to exploit. It has a brutal ending, but it shows just how far her fear and arrogance pushed her. Miu wanted control in a world where she felt powerless, and it cost her everything.
Miu's death wasn't just a shocking twist, it was the culmination of everything her character represented. Beneath all the crude jokes, inflated ego, and false confidence, Miu was deeply insecure. She masked her fear of rejection with arrogance, and her loneliness with vulgar humor. The killing game only magnified those traits, pushing her into a corner where control was the only thing that made her feel safe. She didn't try to kill Kokichi out of pure malice, she did it because she was terrified. Terrified of betrayal, of being humiliated, of being the next one to die. But in her desperation to assert power, she became the very thing she feared, another player willing to kill to survive. Whether you see her as a villain or a victim depends on how much sympathy you're willing to give someone who lashes out in fear. Miu wasn't evil, she was unstable, lonely, and tragically human. And that's what makes her downfall so haunting. So, to answer everyone's question, was Miu Iruma a victim or a villain? The truth is, she was both. Miu wasn't some heartless manipulator who enjoyed hurting people, but she wasn't innocent either. She weaponized her intelligence, used vulgarity as a shield, and crossed lines that made others uncomfortable. Yet every outburst, every cruel comment, every inappropriate moment came from the same place, fear. She was terrified of being weak, of being ignored, of being seen as the talentless nobody she used to be. So she built a version of herself that was loud, sexual, and impossible to ignore. But underneath all that, she was still that same insecure girl begging to be noticed. Miu Iruma wasn't a hero or a monster. She was a broken person trying to survive in a world that punished vulnerability. And that's what makes her story so tragic.